Well, you know, I've been pretty busy watching the race for the president. There are some interesting local races shaping up. In Oakland County, Executive L. Brooks Patterson is being challenged by Democrat and ex-state rep Vickie Barnett. And recently, outgoing Congresswoman Candice Miller says she's running for Macomb County Public Works Commissioner. All right, so I want to take a look at these two things, which are pretty interesting. Let's first talk about, Noel, let me start with you. The challenge to Brooks Patterson in Oakland County. Is this a true challenge from Vickie Barnett?
Well, it'll be a true challenge, and the county's demographics have changed significantly. Democrats have picked up a couple of other key countywide seats. I don't think anybody's going to beat Brooks Patterson. I think probably Vickie Barnett for sure is not going to beat Brooks Patterson. I think, you know, he's got one more term left in him. He's going to run and win. I think the more interesting development was what happened in Macomb County. I had thought Candice Miller was running for governor, and then boom, here she is running for water commissioner or public works commissioner.
Yeah. This technically doesn't prevent her from running for governor. I mean,
I mean, she could take the seat in 2016.
I think it doesn't technically prevent her, but I think practically and politically, this is what she's running for.
You know, I asked her in Washington last time I was there about governor, and she said that what she wanted to do, I mean, she was eager to get back home to Michigan, but that if she was going to do something else in politics, it was going to be something where she could actually do something, where she could actually have her hands on.
Wow, you know what? That's a statement.
Well, it is.
That is a pretty big
and this
statement.
this is a much more hands-on kind of job than governor, frankly. I mean, governor is you know, an administrative job and a political job. This is all about service and service delivery, and maybe that's more interesting.
There's a whole lot of Macomb County politics going on here. Morocco has been sort of, he and Hackle have been feuding, and there's a real divide in the county. Hackle, a Democrat, has said he's going to support her.
Yeah,
I think she was stepping out of his way. I'd still expect him now to run for governor. And he said from the beginning he wouldn't run against Candice,
you know,
nor she him.
I think it's an interesting, bigger question, what you just brought up, that Candice Miller, who served in Congress, she served as Secretary of State here in Michigan, that she feels that she hasn't really been able. She wants to do something that she can really
I don't think she was saying she hasn't done things like that. I mean, I think she's had a really...
No, but taking a job at a much more micro, local level that she feels that she can achieve more than achieving in Congress.
Well, I mean, that's sort of more her background, frankly, than these other kind of jobs. Even as Secretary of State, was she clerk before that?
I think so,
County clerk?
I mean, it's the most dysfunctional body in America, for goodness sakes. And you look at some of the people who we elect to Congress, it is not exactly, you know, these are people who a lot of them couldn't get jobs in middle management at a major company. I mean, this is not an impressive group, and you look at the public's approval level of them, and it reflects that, and they haven't got a whole heck of a lot done.
So I think she has. I mean, I actually think she's been a good member of Congress.
And she's been a proponent of the Great Lakes, and
you don't have to go down there and stay forever. I mean, and you do see more often on the Republican side, people get to that point 10, 15 years and they quit. I mean, on the Democratic side, you got guys like Conyers who barely functional and will never quit.
There's lots of Republicans.
Well, I was going to say, you might want to throw out a couple names.
How long did Trent Lott stay in the Senate? How long did Strom Thurmond last? Come on.
And you've got all of these guys who go from Congress to coffin, for crying out loud.
That's not a Democratic problem.
That's a slogan I don't want to see on a T-shirt.
It's a generational
Sandy Levin
issue.
is going to limp into another term.
It's a generational issue, but all of those Democrats
you
mentioned,
age of the Democratic delegation in the Michigan and the Republican
all of those
delegation,
Democrats
they
you
won't
mentioned,
let go.
But they all have Republican counterparts who have hung on just as long. Because they couldn't get elected.
All right, hey, Stephen, but I want to get your take on Brooks Patterson. The fact that he's
I think
Vickie
Barnett's a good challenger for that seat. I worry that you know, if you were going to beat Brooks Patterson, it would probably be with somebody who'd already won a countywide race. You know, one of the prosecutor or the drain commissioner now is a Democrat. The treasurer, somebody like that. But I think I think it'd be hard. I think it would be very hard. People think he does a really good job.
He does a good job.
And they're, even if they vote Democratic, I mean, even if they vote Democratic for other races, they cross over and vote for him.
Yeah, this whole split ticket thing helps Brooks because the county is getting more and more Democratic, and you know this whole no straight ticket voting helps in races like this.
And then we heard this week that Senator Virgil Smith, he got sentenced to 10 months in jail, and he is going to be resigning.
He says he's going. He
says he's going to resign at the end of the week. I found it very interesting, the whole change at the last minute of the plea deal, and that was part of the deal to
really like
resign.
that,
And
yeah.
I was a little confused by it, quite honestly.
Well, it is confusing. I mean, the judge is saying that you can't make resignation from office a condition of a plea because that's not. I mean, it's
not the court's position to take away that seat. It's the
not
voters.
it's not the defendant's seat. His point is it's the voter's seat, and they voted that person into it, and so that person can't just be forced to resign it as part of a criminal justice process. The problem is that we've
seen
do this
that before,
all
right?
the time. I mean, politicians who plea bargain and say, well, as part of it, I'll step down.
Yeah.
So some court's going to have to say whether Talon is right. The
Probably
judge.
wishes he'd done that, don't you?
Well, I think if
But
this stands for Virgil,
how
I mean, that
surpri-
really questions.
How surprised are we that state law allows you to serve in the Senate and serve a prison term at the same time? Why aren't either the Senate rules or state laws constructed to say if you get convicted of a felony, if you go to jail, you're out?
Well, I mean,
It should be simple.
I mean, there are rules for expulsion. That's all. They just kick people out.
Right.
Well,
Wow.
this should be an automatic. You check into a jail, you got to check out of your office at the legislature.
Well, check into a jail, but does it depend on the crime? What if someone was drunk driving and they check into jail for
I don't
I'm
care
sorry, we
what
have
it is.
15
If you
seconds
end
left.
up in jail, you should forfeit your seat.
All right.
should.
Well, he's expected to resign. We'll have to watch
see.
that. All right. Thanks, guys, and that's going to do it for MiWeek. Thanks.